Behind the charm, wit, and sharp eye that made Drew Pritchard the beloved star of Salvage Hunters, there lies a heartbreaking tragedy few fans ever imagined. Known for transforming forgotten treasures into timeless masterpieces, Drew built an entire empire from rust and dust. Yet away from the cameras, his life has been marked by loss, betrayal, and deep personal struggle. What began as a dream career slowly turned into a painful battle that nearly cost him everything he had worked for. What really happened to the beloved antique dealer? Join us as we uncover the heartbreaking tragedy of Drew Pritchard. In a 2019 interview, Drew admitted that back in 2004, he and his family had come dangerously close to going bankrupt. Repairs on a project ended up costing over $20,000 more than they had originally planned, and that unexpected expense nearly broke them financially. In 2005, Rebecca officially joined Drew in the business. She had left a high-paying fashion job in Hong Kong, where she earned $80,000 a year, but after flipping a single vase in 2004 for a $5,000 profit, she realized there was a new path waiting for her. Her skills helped the business grow fast. By 2006, profits had risen by 30%. She could look at an old sofa, say it was worth $1,000, and manage to sell it for $3,500. By doing restorations herself, she also saved them $10,000 a year. Things weren't always smooth. In 2007, her valuation of an item clashed with Drew's instincts, and they lost $2,000 on a deal. It hurt their trust for a moment, but they stuck together and became a strong team, appearing in over 100 episodes of Salvage Hunters. By 2010, family vacations doubled as sourcing trips. In 2009, a trip to Italy unexpectedly brought them $20,000 in profit from antiques hidden in an attic, completely changing everything. In 2012, a trip to France yielded ceramics worth $15,000. Even their kids joined in. Tom, at just 13, once haggled like a pro for a $500 clock. Every year they drove more than 5,000 miles across Europe, mixing work with fun, turning travel into a core part of their family business. But not every trip ended well. In 2013, while in Spain, their van full of $8,000 worth of antiques was stolen, but they recovered it just in time. The adventures were exciting, but they slowly started taking a toll on their personal lives. And by 2015, everything shifted in a way no one expected. Drew began an affair with Amanda Thomas, who was married to his close friend, Janice Bryn Thomas. They met at antique events and hid their relationship under the guise of business. Drew was still married to Rebecca, and the affair continued for 2 years. Even after Amanda tried to put an end to it, Drew continued sending messages. By 2017, the truth finally came out. Other women contacted Amanda, claiming they had also been involved with Drew. She eventually told her husband, who had already noticed Drew's number showing up on her phone far too many times. The scandal exploded just as Drew's fame was peaking. And then, in October 2017, the situation grew even worse. Janice confronted Drew at a pub called the Liverpool Arms in North Wales, after Drew sent him a text calling him a coward. That night, Janice punched Drew, breaking glasses and causing chaos inside the pub. Janice was fined £1,140 and banned from all pubs in Conwy. Drew didn't press charges, but he was banned from 44 pubs under local pub watch rules, damaging his public image significantly. Later that same year, Drew and Rebecca divorced after 19 years of marriage. The court cited irreconcilable differences, but everyone knew it was because of the affairs. They split everything, including an old chapel they had turned into a home worth $795,000. Rebecca focused on keeping the kids stable, while Drew moved to Bath to start over. In 2018, Drew admitted in an interview to the affairs, saying stress from work led him to make poor choices, but people didn't see it as an excuse. Many saw a pattern. After the divorce, he moved into a $1.5 million Georgian townhouse in Bath, hoping to rebuild, but more problems followed almost immediately. By 2021, renovations hit a wall. Hidden rot in the house meant he spent over $100,000 more than planned. The original budget had been $200,000, but plumbing and electrical work alone ended up costing $150,000. Only a few upstairs rooms were finished. The rest of the house remained empty, echoing the chaos in his personal life. In 2022, Drew closed his antique store in Conwy. The shop had become a tourist attraction since opening in 2017, with fans and even celebrities like Jamie Oliver visiting regularly. But after the divorce and the ongoing scandal, Drew quietly announced the closure and asked people not to visit anymore. It marked the end of an era. Then, in 2024, Drew auctioned most of his personal collection, over 620 pieces, raising more than $800,000. A 1930 fairground boat sold for $7,000, and an item linked to Sir Malcolm Campbell's Bluebird project went for $17,000. But for Drew, the auction wasn't about money. Letting go of those pieces felt like saying goodbye to old friends and to the life he once knew. By 2023, Drew had officially left Salvage Hunters after appearing in more than 200 episodes. He said he was exhausted and wanted privacy. He thanked the team, including Rebecca, who had helped him build the show from the very beginning. Over the years, something surprising happened. There's been something else that has fascinated people almost as much as his treasure hunts, his dream home. But over the years, this house became more than just a structure. To many, it isn't just a house. It's a powerful symbol of success and stability, a reward for decades of hard work and dedication. For countless fans, Drew's home represents the life he built brick by brick, mistake by mistake, and triumph by triumph. Drew's home has appeared from time to time in interviews and on social media, offering small glimpses into a world he usually keeps private. Fans have admired its rustic charm, its thoughtful design, and the way every corner seems to reflect Drew's personality. A perfect blend of old and new. For a man whose entire life revolves around objects with stories, his home feels like a living museum of his own journey, a space where the past and present meet beautifully. Cozy, authentic, and filled with character, it seems like the perfect backdrop for his life as an antiques expert. But public perception can be deceiving. When someone like Drew, who has spent years building an image of passion, knowledge, and integrity, gives fans a glimpse into his private world, they naturally assume his home must be a peaceful haven, the ideal place to unwind after long days on the road or in front of the camera. Yet, as anyone who has ever owned a home knows, reality often tells a very different story. Even the most beautiful dream homes come with challenges, unexpected repairs, financial burdens, endless maintenance, and the emotional pressure of keeping everything just right. In Drew's case, these challenges ran far deeper than most people realized. Behind the charming photographs and warm glimpses into his private life lies a much more complicated truth, one that Drew has rarely spoken about publicly. For many years, his beloved home has not been the simple success story fans imagined. Instead, it has been marked by quiet struggles and heavy responsibilities that have slowly taken their toll. Maintaining a property that serves not only as a personal refuge, but also as part of his public identity, has been an enormous pressure, one that most people never see. It's easy to believe that when a public figure shows off their home, everything is perfect. But that illusion often hides the unseen reality beneath. For Drew, the house that once symbolized his achievements became something else entirely, a battleground for personal and emotional challenges. From financial strain to structural problems with the property, the obstacles he faced were far from minor inconveniences. They were deep-rooted hardships that affected his peace of mind and emotional balance. Fans who have followed Drew closely might have noticed the subtle hints: a tired expression during interviews, a passing comment about stress, or the occasional absence from public life. These were small clues to a much larger story. His home, as beautiful as it is, carries layers of memories, hopes, and heartache. It was meant to be the place where he could finally rest, surrounded by the things he loved most after years of relentless work and travel. But instead of becoming a permanent sanctuary, it sometimes turned into a place of pain and disappointment. How did Drew's dream home change from a sign of hope into a place of constant trouble? What really happened behind those doors that no one has spoken about until now? Let's find out. When someone reaches public success like Drew Pritchard, it comes with expectations, sometimes quiet, sometimes loud, and always present. Drew has spent years building a reputation as a sharp-eyed antiques expert, a man who seems to know the value of every item he touches and the stories hidden in each piece. But behind the cameras and the fame, the pressure isn't always about antiques or TV shows. It's something much more personal and heavier. Living much of your life in the public eye can be exhausting. Fans want to see only the triumphs, the stunning collections, the picture-perfect home, and the confident, cheerful personality. They imagine a life of success, happiness, and ease. And they expect the person they admire to live exactly that life. For Drew, carrying those expectations has been a constant weight. On one hand, public admiration brings pride and motivation. On the other, it brings an invisible strain, the sense that every part of life must measure up to a standard that feels impossible to meet. Behind closed doors, life is rarely perfect. Family, friends, and even Drew himself have hinted at the emotional toll of balancing a high-profile career with private challenges. The endless filming, traveling, and maintaining a public image leave almost no space for vulnerability or showing struggle. It's an unspoken rule in celebrity life: don't reveal the cracks. But cracks inevitably appear, and when they do, hiding them only makes the pressure heavier. This tension has shown most clearly around Drew's so-called dream home. What was meant to be a sanctuary, a personal space to relax and enjoy life, slowly became a symbol of the burden of expectations. Every corner, every room carries a story, a memory, a responsibility. Drew didn't just want a beautiful house. He wanted a legacy, a home that reflected the life he had worked so hard to create. Instead, it became a mirror, showing the constant tug-of-war between the life he hoped for and the difficulties he faced. The professional side of the pressure is just as strong. Fans expect Drew to always be the expert, the one who spots every valuable item and knows exactly what to do. But behind the polished TV moments is the reality of doubt, hard work, and the fear that one mistake could damage the reputation he has built over years. That fear shapes every decision he makes, from buying antiques to managing personal challenges. The burden extends beyond Drew himself. Those closest to him have seen how stress has affected his mood and outlook. The public sees the ready smile, the confident persona, and the carefully curated life. But they don't see the long nights worrying about repairs, finances, or personal setbacks. This chapter of Drew's life is a story of the silent battle between expectation and reality. It's about the cost of living up to an image that inspires millions, but is exhausting to maintain. And perhaps the hardest part of all is the isolation it can create. What challenges did Drew encounter? Let's find out. Everyone dreams of a perfect home, a place where peace, happiness, and success all come together. For Drew, that dream was vivid and full of promise. After decades of hard work, building his career and reputation as a sharp-eyed antiques expert, owning a home that matched his personality, taste, and achievements wasn't just a goal. It was a symbol of everything he had worked so tirelessly for. But sometimes, the dream you imagine isn't the same as the reality you live. Drew's dream home was meant to be a sanctuary, a calm retreat where he could rest, create, and recharge his energy after long days hunting for antiques and filming for television. Instead, it slowly turned into a constant source of stress and struggle. The problems started quietly, almost unnoticed. Unexpected repairs, structural issues, and the challenges of maintaining an older house quickly added up. These weren't small inconveniences. They were the kind of problems that drain your energy, your money, and even your hope. To fans looking from the outside, Drew's home seemed perfect, elegant, full of carefully chosen antiques, and a place filled with charm and memories. But behind the carefully decorated rooms, he was fighting daily battles no one could see. Leaks that appeared out of nowhere, cold drafts creeping through walls, electrical faults, and the endless costs of keeping the house in shape. The difficulties weren't just about the house itself. They started affecting Drew's mind and emotions. Balancing the demands of a high-profile career with the relentless upkeep of the property became overwhelming. There were moments when the weight of it all felt crushing, when his dream home felt less like a sanctuary and more like a reminder of dreams slipping just out of reach. Drew has always been known for his upbeat personality, determination, and humor. Yet those closest to him noticed subtle changes, hesitations in his speech, quiet sighs, and rare but honest admissions of frustration. Sharing these struggles with the public wasn't easy, especially when fans expected to see only the confident, successful man on screen. Financial stress added another layer of hardship. The costs of repairs and ongoing maintenance seemed never-ending, sometimes piling up faster than he could manage. Even with a successful career that brought in money, the expenses felt like a constant drain. It's a reality most people don't see when they watch antique shows or admire the homes of celebrities. Behind every polished scene, there are bills, negotiations with contractors, and tough choices about what must be fixed and what can wait. The emotional toll was just as heavy. When the place meant to be your safe haven becomes a source of anxiety, it's hard to find peace anywhere. Drew's dream home became a daily reminder of battles fought and sometimes lost, a place where stress and worry seemed to hide behind every corner. This struggle also brought a sense of isolation. Drew often felt he had to hold everything together, even when he wanted to admit he was tired or overwhelmed. Many people face problems with their homes, but living in the public eye magnifies them, giving every struggle a different weight. Drew's dream home came to symbolize more than success. It became a glimpse into the harsh realities that can accompany fame, hard work, and ambition. It was a heartbreaking twist, one that fans would never have guessed, but it revealed so much about the man behind the television persona. Yet through all the setbacks, Drew never gave up. His determination to solve the problems and turn the house into a true home never faltered.